Throughout the decades, no guitarist has been more prominent in the world of music than Eric Clapton. First as a member of highly influential bands like the Yardbirds, Blind Faith and Cream, and then as a solo artist, the influence of Clapton's distinctly bluesy style on rock music can absolutely not be understated. With lyrics that dig deep into his personal tragedies, struggles with addiction and romantic strife layered over incredible blues riffs, Clapton's tunes have a timeless quality that makes them great for listening anytime. Flip through the gallery below for an essential Eric Clapton playlist, ranging from his early days with the Yardbirds to modern hits like My Father's Eyes. Released in 1977 on his iconic album Slow Hand, Wonderful Tonight was inspired by Clapton's longtime flame and eventual wife, Pattie Boyd, as she dressed for a party at Paul and Linda McCartney's home. Boyd was originally married to McCartney's Beatles bandmate George Harrison, whom she later divorced to marry Clapton. 25 iconic films that also became successful TV shows. Arguably one of rock and roll's most heart-wrenching songs in history, Tears in Heaven, was written by Clapton following the death of his 4-year-old son, Connor, who fell from a window on the 53rd story of a New York City apartment building in 1991. Clapton wrote the song as a way to heal, and Hour included it on the soundtrack of the film, Rush. Originally released when Clapton was still part of blues rock outfit Derek and the Dominoes, Layla takes its name from an ancient Persian poem and was written about Pattie Boyd, Clapton's eventual wife, who was still married to George Clapton when this song about unrequited love came out in 1971. In 1992, Clapton performed an acoustic version of it on MTV's Unplugged, introducing it to a whole new audience and making Layla a hit once again. 25 underrated band members who deserve more love. Released on the final album that Clapton recorded with UK blues rock band Cream in 1969, Badge was co-written by Beatle George Harrison, and its name is a bit of an inside joke between the two artists. Clapton apparently misread the word bridge as badge in Harrison's allegedly messy handwriting, and the name just stuck. A cover of a song recorded by J.J. Cale in 1976, Eric Clapton made Cocaine a worldwide hit the following year. It's one of Clapton's finest covers among many, even though the artist didn't play it live for years. He was worried that it sent the wrong message about doing an illicit drug, even though he's long contended that Cocaine is actually an anti-drug song. Last words, the most iconic song closing lyrics. A slightly deeper cut that's beloved by fans everywhere, Old Love, chronicles Clapton trying to get over Pattie Boyd when their marriage ended in 1989. Old Love, Leave Me Alone, Clapton sings on the chorus. Old Love, Go On Home. Clapton really leans into the Tulsa-influenced, country blues sound on Lay Down Sally, released in 1977 on his iconic album, Slow Hand. With success on both the country and rock charts, it's one of Clapton's most popular hits and has since been certified gold in the United States by the Recording Industry Association of America. 20 underrated bands from the 1970s that deserve more love. Formerly known as the Crossroad Blues, legendary American bluesman Robert Johnson first recorded this song in 1936, and it's, allegedly, about the spot where he sold his soul to the devil in exchange for preternatural guitar-playing abilities. Clapton offered his take on the song in 1968 when he was still a part of Cream, and its boogie-backed arrangement is best heard on one of Cream's stellar live albums. An extremely simple song with only a few lyrics, Carnival, was written and composed by Clapton and released on his 1977 album, No Reason to Cry. It's ridiculously catchy and a perfect addition to any Eric Clapton playlist. The most iconic movies and TV shows that take place in schools. Yet another song Clapton wrote about Pattie Boyd, he penned Bell Bottom Blues at the height of the bell-shaped pants' popularity in 1971. Apparently Boyd wanted Clapton to bring her a pair of bell-bottoms back to the UK from the States, even though she was still with husband, and Clapton's close friend, George Harrison. A favorite of Clapton in his live performances, Have You Ever Loved a Woman, has been part of his set list since the mid-1960s, when Clapton was still a member of John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers. The 21 best romantic movies of the 21st century, so far. It's technically an outtake from his 1970 debut solo album, but the instrumental Blues in A is just 10.5 pure minutes of Clapton guitar perfection. His iteration of classic 12-bar blues is perfect for guitar junkies who just want to listen to one of the instrument's all-time greats play, uninterrupted. Recorded 1 year after Bob Marley and the Wailers released I Shot the Sheriff, Eric Clapton's version was a #1 hit on the Billboard chart, bringing Jamaican reggae to the mainstream. 20 essential songs for your 80s country playlist. Also a Robert Johnson original, Clapton has included Ramblin' on My Mind on multiple live albums throughout his career, first while he was with John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers and later as part of his dual album with Steve Winwood, live from Madison Square Garden. Clapton continued his string of successes in 1978 when he released Promises on his album, Backless. A top 10 hit in the States, Promises also saw success across Europe and Canada and is still included on countless top 10 inches lists of serious Clapton fanatics. The 25 best episodes of Columbo, ranked. Even though it's technically the song that convinced Clapton to leave the Yardbirds in the mid-1960s, For Your Love is still an essential part of Clapton's musical history. As any listener can hear, he was going in a totally different sonic direction than the Yardbirds' early psych rock vibe. A Derek and the Dominoes song that Clapton continued to play frequently as a solo artist, Tell the Truth, was originally supposed to appear on a George Harrison album. Eventually, though, it ended up on the band's debut album, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs, which was initially a commercial failure before going on to critical acclaim and platinum certification from the Recording Industry Association of America. The definitive Neil Diamond playlist. Clapton proved he still had it all these decades later with the release of My Father's Eyes, a Grammy-winning pop song that debuted on 1998's Pilgrim. With lyrics that explored his own experience growing up without a father and the loss of his young son, Clapton officially retired My Father's Eyes from his concert set lists alongside the equally emotional Tears in Heaven. Clapton continued his commercial success from the 60s and 70s in the 1980s, releasing I've Got a Rock and Roll Heart in 1983 on Money and Cigarettes. Completed after Clapton's first stint in alcohol rehab, the album wasn't exactly a critical success but the song was a top 10 adult contemporary hit. The most underrated rock guitarists of all time. Co-written by Clapton and singer Bonnie Bramlett, Let It Rain was included on Clapton's 1970 debut album and released it as a single 2 years later. It found middling commercial success, but it's one of Clapton's most critically acclaimed tunes as a songwriter. Did you enjoy this slideshow?